So this video is to go through the final fight, the Nomad fight within Nomad's Elegy. I'm doing this on my Iron Man account, so this will be a good indication of what level and what gear you need to have to do the boss fight. It is also a good indication for Hardcore Iron Man to see what gear you will need to do the fight, so you don't lose a life over the fight. So this video is to go through the final fight, the Nomad fight within Nomad's Elegy. I'm doing this on my Iron Man account, so this will be a good indication of what level and what gear you need to have to do the boss fight. It is also a good indication for Hardcore Iron Man to see what gear you will need to do the fight, so you don't lose a life over the fight. So we are going to get into the first phase of the fight here. There's a few things I want to kind of touch on. First of all, I won't be going through the middle sections with the companion mini games. I'll just be showing the fight in this video. Second of all, you can see I'm using Magic Prayer. Nomad's attack is actually typeless, so you can't actually block it. I use Magic Prayer is actually for one of the special attacks by the Glino construction underneath. If you have Soul Split, that will be a lot better prayer to use in this fight. I do have Soul Split on lock, but I didn't use it just to demonstrate the prayer. As you can see that purple attack just now, that damage can be reduced by your magic prayer, which is why I have magic prayer on the whole fight. Alternatively, what you can do is you can run away. As you can see here, if you run from where you were standing when he launches the attack, you can avoid the attack entirely. However, magic prayer is just nice to have on, just as a backup in case you're too focused on Nomad and you don't notice the attack. So you can see here, I run away from the attack again, and I avoid taking damage from that purple stuff entirely. So the first phase of the fight isn't nothing special. You can see one special attack. The second special attack here is the Gillen smash, essentially, where he teleports in the center and then the Gillen construction will smash you. You can avoid this in multiple different ways. First of all, you can resonance if you're quick enough. Second of all, you can use switch to melee prep, which also blocks the damage. And thirdly, you can run away or use surge to avoid the fist. I will recommend melee prey and surging. So you can see here I run away from the attack and I ran back in because I'm a stupid person. So I get hit by melee here. If you protect melee, if you switch to melee, you will negate that damage because it is a melee based attack. Again, you can see the attack again where I run away and run back in again because I'm a stupid, but you can see it doesn't do too much damage, so it's not too bad. You will see towards later the fight I'll start getting more used to that attack and stop running into the fist. Again, you can see him doing the purple stuff. You can see all the way from down there where he launches the purple attack, and then you can stop running away the moment you can see it. The rest of the fight is fairly simple. You just damage Nomad. One of the things I want to touch on is the Gothic Staff. You want to use the Gothic Staff special attack as soon as you can. So the Gothic Staff special attack can be used at 25% adrenaline. The moment you get 25%, I recommend switching to your staff and activating the special attack, as we discussed the keybind in the first part of this video. What the special attack does is it will reduce the defense of Nomad. Here you can see by running away, I managed to reduce the damage entirely from the special attack. So that's side distraction. Going back to the Gothic Staff, so it reduces the defense of Nomad, which means that you hit more often. As you can see here, when I'm using my Sun Spear tier 78, I still splash quite often on Nomad, which makes this fire a lot longer than it needs to be. So you can see finally he does one more special attack with the magic stuff. I run away and I kill Nomad. First phase done. Fairly simple, not too big an issue. It's mainly to get used to the two special attacks of the fist and the purple stuff. Now we're getting the second phase. Second phase will have all the mechanic of the first phase, except it has an additional mechanic called Face My Wrath or something My Wrath. You will see that in a bit. So the first part of the fight starts as normal. You build up to 25% adrenaline, or you build your adrenaline up, and then you want to be able to use your Gothic Staff special as soon as you can. So you can see from the first phase you have that purple stuff as before. So you run and avoid that attack. This is the new special attack for this phase where he says, "Can you handle my wrath?" This attack will deal 7,500 damage, and what you do is you switch to your shield, as you can see I did, and use the ability Resonance before it hits you, and that will negate the damage entirely. I will show that off again because he will do this attack multiple times in this fight. So you can see here I'm switching to my Gothic Staff, or attempting to, so this is another special attack from the first phase where he teleports to center and melee and the construction melee attack. So you can see there I melee prayed and ran away to avoid the damage. You can see the can you handle my wrath special ability again. I pull my wand and my shield and use resonance, and I continue attacking Nomad. And you can see the attack he fires at me will then do 0 damage instead of a whole tons of damage. If you're unfamiliar with this, if you're unfamiliar with using resonance, I recommend eating up to full. And then just in case that if you mess up your resonance, you will still likely survive that attack. You can see more attacks similar to the phase 1, the purple stuff. Again, once you should be used to this by now, where you just avoid it. Handle my wrath again. So you twist to your wand and your shield, and use resonance, and you can block that damage. One thing I want to point out, or two things I want to point out, is first of all, you don't want to use your resonance too early because the attack does take a while to charge up. And if you use your resonance too early, there's a chance that your resonance will run out before the attack hits you, which means you'll get hit for the full damage. So what I will see me doing later in the later phases, where I will do 2 attacks or 2 abilities, and then I will use resonance just to ensure the resonance doesn't run out. You can see here again, handle my wrath, resonance, and I block the damage, and you continue the fight. The second thing I wanted to point out is that you want to switch to your wand with your shield just so you can keep doing the damage as you have your shield on, just so that you don't prolong the fight too long. Again, melee attack by the Gillinor, teleport to center, you push to melee prey as soon as you can, and then you surge away, or I recommend you surge away. So that's the second phase done. Moving to the third phase, you will notice that I switched to Beltfish, mainly because the second part of this fight you will take a lot of damage from Nomad, and it's a pain in the ass, so I used a slightly better food here than I did in the previous fight. So the first half of this fight is very similar to the previous 2 phases. So you can see here, this is nothing, just normal attack, purple stuff, you run away, you can see me switch to my Gothic Staff to do my Gothic Staff special on Nomad to try to reduce his defense. You can see it splashed there, but you can try to. And then you can see me using attack and now switching to my shield and then res. You can see that there's quite a long time, you have quite a long time between him saying handle my wrath and firing the attack, so you have quite a long time to prepare yourself to switch to your shield and resonance. And you can see here me using the ability Debilitate, which again we talked about at the start, which will reduce the damage I take by 50%. Food conservation is very important in this phase of the fight, because once he reaches 50,000, he will summon a clone. So another attack, special, all purple stuff from the construction, you just run away from that as you do. So you can see here he will summon a clone. This part of the fight is a pain in the not a clone yet. He's doing something right. Again, shield and block. So you can see him summoning the clone. Now there's 2 nomads. You can see me try. So you'll take double the damage essentially. There's a few things I try to do here because this is one of the first time I actually faced this fight. So I try to put my shield and reflect, which works somewhat. You can see the damage I take is reduced. However, the problem with this is that your damage output is reduced as well. So you spend longer time in fight, which means you end up taking quite a lot of damage anyway. However, you can use Debilitate, as I did, to try to reduce damage from one of the nomads. And here you can see me trying to run away just to see if I can separate the 2 nomads, which I am unsuccessful at. So essentially what you're going to have to do is, what I did is just tank it out. So you can see me just chugging down food from him taking a lot of damage. Just chugging food and trying to do as much DPS as possible just to kill Nomad before he kills me. Now you don't know which one of the 2 Nomads is a clone, so you're gonna have to go by luck, and hopefully you kill the one that is not a clone. If you kill the clone, you're gonna have to face Nomad himself as well from 50,000 HP. you can, at that point, if you do pick the wrong Nomad, you can either, if you have enough food, to tough the fight out and kill Nomad, or you can leave and try again, and hopefully the next time you do, you face normal Nomad. So you can see here me just running around trying to find some way to reduce the damage I'm taking, which is a huge amount of damage. It's about 2-3k damage per hit because both Nomads are attacking you at the same time. So you can see here, I'm just trying my best to use abilities and just eating food. There isn't really anything you can do to avoid this. You can use some defensive abilities as I said earlier, but however, by using a shield, you do reduce the damage you do, which is very bad because by prolonging the fight, you will use more food as well. So you can see here, I guessed the right Nomad, and I hope you do as well, because if you don't, this fight will be a lot more painful. So this is now the final phase of the fight. This phase of the fight is actually very, very easy compared to the third phase. If you are going to die, you will be dying on the third phase. So the third phase is the one where you want to spend most of your resources on. So use stuff like sharks or rock tails if you can. The final phase is basically like the final phase from the first Nomad fight in Nomad Requiem, where he just melee attacks you. This is fairly simple. He doesn't do a lot of damage. You can just put melee prayer on and just stand there and attack him. Here you can see me using Gothic Stuff again to reduce the damage, which debuffs him and increase my hit chance on him. So you can see me trying a few things just to demonstrate a few things you can do. So you can try running around, which I wasn't sure if this reduces the amount of attacks you get, but I was bored at this point of the fight because this part of the fight is fairly easy, so I just ran around doing abilities just in case it does reduce damage. You can see, I think from the video, Nomad does do slightly less attack than normal. The other thing you can do is use the ability Devotion, which makes your melee prayer, as you can see there, works 100% of the time. So he started hitting ones on me, which is essentially zeros. So the rest of the fight is very simple. You avoid the purple stuff, you run around, or you don't. You'll just face tank Nomad and melee prayer and just use abilities. This is a very straightforward phase of the fight. Nothing special. I guess just a couple notes as we end up the fight. If you are struggling with the damage, make sure you use debilitate as often as you can, just to reduce the damage you take. Obviously, there's a lot of extra things you can do to make it easier for yourself. First of all, soul split, access to soul split, etc. will make the first 3 phases easier. Using better food, you can see me here using bellfish, which is not a great piece of food, will make it easier as well. So the final part is just to demonstrate how to get out of the fight. So normally after each section of the fight, you do a mini quest with one of the companions, and after you come back to this section with the amount of food you have from a previous fight. And all you want to do is just go to the stair and quickly leave before Nomad starts attacking you. That allows you to go bank and heal up, and then you can come back to the fight and finish and do the fight as normal. Your progress is saved. And that is pretty much everything regarding the Nomad fight. Thank you for watching.